Hi, this is Haley. I am doing the reading habits tag in response to Books and Lala. Let's get started. The first question is, do you have a certain place at home for reading? Not really, because sorry, there's airplanes. I live really close to the airport. Not really, because honestly I don't read at home that much. I usually read like on a lunch break at work or something like that. I like to read to kill time, and usually when I'm home I'm cleaning or doing something else or watching Gilmore Girls, something. The second question is bookmark or a random piece of paper. Bookmark, definitely bookmark. I also do the dog ear thing that Kayla was talking about in her video. That doesn't bother me too much though. It kind of makes the book look worn, but I hate the thought of a random piece of paper. So I actually made myself a bookmark recently that's one of those that fits on the corner of the page, and it's got like a little heart. So I use that right now. But sometimes I dog ear the page too, because I just have this weird fear of the bookmark falling out and then me never finding my place. Can you just stop reading, or do you have to stop after a chapter or a certain amount of pages? I have to stop after a chapter. If I stop reading in the middle of a chapter, I'm going to have to reread the whole chapter, and I'm going to remember everything that I'm reading, but I'm going to be really irritated that I have to go through it again. I can't just leave it and pick it up. I like to end at a designated place, so that way if it's a couple days before I can pick the book up again, I can start at that chapter and I remember what happened. So, do you eat or drink while reading? Yes. Kayla was asking about this too. I love eating when reading, because, I don't know, do you ever like have a really good meal and then you just want to watch a really good TV show or a really good movie? And I know that's really bad. You're not supposed to eat and watch TV because you're going to eat too much and not savor your food, but I feel like it's a big experience and I like to get lost in it. So whether it's a TV show or a movie or a book, I really like to have just kind of a ritual about it and sit down and have a snack, or like I was saying before, I read my book on my lunch break. So I get my meal already in front of me, I get my book open, and then I start to read like basically the second I start eating. I don't know why. It's really weird. But it doesn't bother me at all. I love it. That's what I kind of look forward to, because it's just an experience. It's entertainment and food at the same time, and I can just get lost in it. Multitasking, music or TV while reading. No, I can't do that either. I really like silence. I like to concentrate, and I can't, because if it's something good on TV, I'm gonna want to watch that. I'm gonna pay attention to that, and then if it's something bad, I'm gonna have to focus on what I'm doing, because I'm a big multitasker, so I like to pay attention to everything that's going on around me. So book reading is something where I actually need silence to focus. One book at a time or several at once. One book at a time, definitely, but I may, if I ever get books, if I ever buy a few books at a time, or I'm trying to decide a book, I might read the first chapter of a few of them just to see which one catches me at that moment and which one I really am in the mood for reading, but I will never read past that and be reading multiple books at once, because I'll get them confused and I'll think one character did something that happened in another book completely. It's just easier for me to read one book at a time. Reading at home or everywhere? Everywhere. Like I said before, I don't like reading at home. I mean, it's not that I don't like it, but it's usually there's something else that needs to be done, or something else that sounds bad, but something else that I would rather do. And reading for me is something that I want to plan and sit and do, but when I'm at home, I don't want to have to do anything that I didn't plan besides cleaning up and whatever. Reading out loud or silently in your head? Silently in my head, unless I get lost, I don't understand what's happening in the book, I get really confused for some reason, or I get interrupted, like sound going on around me or something like that. I'll read aloud to make sure that I'm not glossing over it while simultaneously trying to listen to what's going on, because I can do that and then realize I just read a page and I wasn't even paying attention. Do you read ahead or skip pages? Yeah, I do. I do sometimes, but the thing about that is that I'm not a person who gets offended by spoilers, because if it's well written, then it doesn't matter. I read the Harry Potter series after I knew who died. Not everybody, but I knew big characters that were gonna die. And it didn't bother me. I just thought, well, it better be good. And then when I read it, I was just like heartbroken over everything that was happening, because and I'm the same with movies. If someone tells me at the end of the movie, I'm usually totally fine with it, because it needs to be well written and well acted and everything needs to be laid out well. And if it's not, then I probably wouldn't have cared in the first place. So it doesn't bother me. I do skip ahead if I get really impatient and I just want to know that someone's going to be okay or someone's going to get back together with somebody. It just, I don't know, it keeps my anxiety level down if I know what's going to happen, and then I can enjoy the ride knowing, okay, there's going to be the ending that I want, or go ahead and get the dagger in the heart and know it's not going to be what I want it to be. Breaking the spine or keeping it like new. I don't really think about that very much. I would love for them to all be nice and new looking, but I don't see how that's even possible. I don't know, unless you're like reading at, with the book open, like at a 90-degree angle, it's gonna probably break. I just don't think about it. I do try to make it to where all my books lie flat open, so yeah, I guess I probably do break all the spines, but that's just not something that I'm really concerned with. I like books that look like they've been read and are old, but I also like when they look shiny and new for display, whatever. It doesn't bother me if it's broken, and it doesn't bother me if it's not. Do you write in your books? Yes. I write. Not all of my books, but usually it's if I've read it once before and I'm reading it again, it's scribbled all through. I highlight in it, I write at the bottom of the page, or I write under the line, or I underline something, or I circle something, or I write a random word next to it. Usually that's because, and I dog ear, usually at the bottom of the book I'll dog ear that page so I can find that note. Usually that's because it's something that I really liked, like a part that really stood out to me in the book, and if I were to tell someone about it, I could find it, or I could just go back and read that one part again, because I do that sometimes. And then other times it's for notes, because I like to keep notes in some of my books. But some of them are, for instance, I'm really into not true crime as in just like the TV shows like Snapped or anything like that, but really famous crimes I'm into, and one that I'm really into is Charles Manson. And I'm not a Manson supporter whatsoever, but I've just studied a lot about the case and know way more than I should. But my book of Helter Skelter, it looks ridiculous. I have those little post-it tabs that you can put on the edge of the book. I've got about 100 of them sticking out of the side of the book with little notes on those, and then when you open each page that there's a tab on, I've got a note inside. And that's just for my reference, because I like to remember all the names, I like to remember the detective, I like to remember who was at this scene or whatever happened, and I like to be able to go back to it quickly if I were ever thinking, gosh, what was that person's name, or what was it that I read in that book? I can look on the tabs and then go in the book and find it. It's crazy, I know, but it doesn't sound organized, well I guess it does, to scribble in your books, but it's an organization thing for me. I just like to know even just how I felt when I read a certain part of the book. It makes me happy, I don't know. Who do you tag? Just like Kayla, I don't really have many friends on YouTube. I will tag, and I don't know if she'll do it because she has a kid and her things are everywhere, but she might like it. I'm gonna tag We Are the Strange, Archie, and see if you'll do this. That would be really awesome. But if not, I know you've got Bubs, so it's totally fine. But yeah, I'm going to tag her, and that's about all the people I have on YouTube. So thank you for watching, and I would love to do another tag sometime, make some more videos maybe, but I'll see you later.